The Man Whore Podcast is sponsored by HotMovies.com. Try out some ethical paid-for porn for free with none of those hidden fees or secret recurring subscriptions when you sign up at HotMovies.com/bonus and use the promo code MANWHORE. I want to thank Tushy for sponsoring the Man Whore Podcast. Get 10% off your own easy-to-install bidet attachment and leave the toilet feeling fresh and clean. Visit HelloTushy.com and use promo code MANWHORE. Do you like gambling? You know I do. You should use your sports knowledge to make some extra cash with BetDSI.com, which has been paying winners for 20 years. They've got one of the fastest payouts in the industry, which we all know is super important. Just go online or to their easy-to-use mobile site where you can bet on every play, every drive, and every score until the final whistle blows. First-timers get a 100% deposit bonus up to $500 when you use promo code MAN18. That's free money, people. Again, go to betdsi.com and use promo code MAN18 for this limited time bonus. Now let's get to the show.
Welcome to the Man Whore Podcast.
Shout out to the kinky vets and bondage noobs, the slutty singles, and the poly people. This is Billy Presida, and you're listening to the Man Whore Podcast. All right, hello, how you doing, everyone? Welcome to my show, where I talk to women I've hooked up with about sex, dating, and why we didn't work out. This week we've got on Ginger. Everyone, Ginger's on the show. Let's just say Ginger don't remember me too good, and we're going to talk more about that in a little bit. But first, show dates, people, show dates. Okay. Mishawaka, Indiana. One more time, I'm going to be at the Smokestack Brew on September 18th at 7 p.m. I think I previously said 8 o'clock. It's actually at 7. My bad. Then Los Angeles, November 4th, we're doing a Man Whore Podcast live in LA. Okay, we're doing the show with several of my exes on stage. You're not going to want to miss it. That's going to be over at the Comedy Dojo above the Sycamore Tavern. And if you would like to get tickets, you can go to manwhorepod.com/tickets. They are now on sale. Chicago. I have no stand-up shows, but we are going to do a fan whore meetup this Sunday, September 16th. I'm going to be in Chicago on my way to Indiana. So I'm going to find a bar. We're going to get a reservation. We're going to watch some football, have some drinks, and hang out the afternoon of September 16th. If you want more information, shoot me an email at manwhorepod@gmail.com. Of course, if you're on my mailing list, you already knew all of this because you get my emails for that. If you want to sign up for the mailing list, be in the running for all sorts of random giveaways and fun announcements, go to manwhorepod.com, sign up for that mailing list. Indiana, Chicago, LA, I'm going all over the place. Let's get to your emails. All right, y'all know I love hearing from you. It's probably my favorite thing to see in the morning is an email from a wonderful listener. This one comes from Stephanie. She writes, "Hi, Billy. I've been a huge fan of your podcast for a few months now. I listen to it every shift I work. I just wanted to tell you how much of an inspiration you are. I guess that's a strong word, but as a whore who is in college just spreading her wings a bit, it's so great to hear so much sex positivity and hear about your experiences, both positive and negative. Thanks to you, I've met several strangers from Tinder and had amazing experiences because I asked for exactly what I wanted. Just wanted to say thanks and that I adore your show. Have a great day. Steph." Oh, Steph. Spread those college whore wings, girl. Go get it. Just, make sure you're being safe and smart about it. especially if you're doing the stranger play stuff. Make sure someone's got his or her contact info, but for the most part, have a good time. I'm glad you're asking for what you want. You're already miles ahead of your average college gal. This next one comes from Martine. Martine writes, "Hey, Billy, I'm just your average 22-year-old gay college student who, God knows why, happens to listen to your podcast. Let me tell you something, and I don't know if you've been told this, but the podcast thumbnail is so incredibly misleading. You literally look like your typical sexist male dickhead, but oh wow, was I pleasantly surprised by your content. I'm not usually drawn to anything related to straight men, especially if they seem overly masculine or bro-dudish. I would never have myself listen to a podcast like yours simply because I'm not about that vagina talk. But even me being all about that dick found your podcast engaging, informative, and super entertaining. You're one of the few straight guys I know of that's so openly sexual, but still is respectful towards women and doesn't find sex exploration a threat to their masculinity. Go on doing your thing. Show us all that bro dudes can also be smart, conscientious, and sensible, and that there's no shame in working in the sex business. Also, I don't know how you look like in real life, but you must be hella hot judging by that sexy voice. Can't even imagine how your dirty talk sounds like. Anyway, line break. Good luck and keep on rocking your podcast, Martine." Oh, gosh. You flatter me. Thank you for the confusingly kind compliments. Glad you're digging the show and that you found a way to enjoy and relate to that strange brand of human known as the straight male. As for the album artwork, well, one, you know what I look like in real life if you've seen the album artwork. The thing of me holding the roses with the panties on me. Yeah, you know that's what I look like in a suit. And I never wear a suit, so that's not really what I look like. But look, as for the album artwork, I think it makes me look like a romantic slut. Maybe America's not ready for that concept yet. I don't know. But if you want to know more about how I look, how blue are these eyes really, just go follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and you can determine how hot or extra hot I am. Those are your two options. I'm either hot or extra hot. You don't get to tell me otherwise. But now let's go ahead and get to my last email of this rundown, which is titled Man Whorecon 2018, and it comes from my favorite swinger couple who have been to both Man Whorecons. We're going to call them J and L. Billy. Oh, Billy. Man Whorecon 2018, words can barely describe the time we had. It's a feeling, or more like a bunch of them, that we're savoring after the weekend. Being part of a significantly growing event, instant inclusion into an awesome group of friends, laughing, learning, the overwhelming sense of doing something awesome. Man Whorecon 2018 was more fun than adults should expect to have. We needed no sleep, and just about none occurred. New York was amazing. The events were a ton of fun, and it was really special to hang out with the comics we met throughout the weekend. It felt like a week of party that occurred in just 48 hours. Let me explain. No, there's too much, but I can sum it up with this. Look, we had the kickoff V-Club meet and greet, and that was perfect. It was low-key, low pressure, and everyone got comfortable. There were so many people to get to know. Friday night's show at Lucky Jack's had to be the best comedy that weekend in all of New York City. Our crew was totally cracking up, and we all raced to meet the comics after the show. After, the pub crawl through some of the village's greatest bars was also a historical tour of Billy Presida's wild adventures. Breathing deep when standing in the back room of the library, we could sense the excitement and ecstasy of the handjob you once received. The Double Down Saloon, Crocodile Lounge, and the Nowhere Bar rounded out the night. Day 2, Saturday, started with sexy stories told by a crew of comics. Wow! We were right into it at the V-Spot Vegan Cafe, working through a recovery brunch while getting fired up for the day's events. A round of Billy trivia got us extra excited and laughing. Then we were on the move again, this time to Babeland, an elegant, sexy toy shop where we got a great workshop on various oral and hand pleasuring techniques. No doubt our crew was primed at this point for the live Man Whore podcast at Karma Lounge. It was a packed house, standing room only, and Billy got broiled by his exes. One of the best shows ever. And as if that wasn't enough, the whole con crew made its way to Midtown for an after party in a swanky condo that was absolutely legendary. We were rock stars that night, porn stars that night, great friends that night. It was Man Whore Con. We miss everyone, and a special someone even more. Don't know who he's referring to. I know who they fucked last year. I don't know who they fucked this year. Jay, you'd let me know. Day 3, Sunday, wanted to be low-key, but no, not at Man Whore Con. Most of the after party didn't get back to their hotels until it was light out, but there we were at noon in Madison Square Park, chowing on some Shake Shack burgers and reliving the previous night before walking a few blocks up Fifth Avenue to the Museum of Sex, which is always a hit. Final thoughts. Your fans love you, man. Your friends, the other comics that entertained us throughout the weekend, they love you. And your sponsors took great care of you and us. Thanks to them all, especially Motor Bunny, who is responsible for a memory of you riding the device that none of us will ever forget. Next year, Man Whore Con 3, we all hope so. Smooches, J&L. Oh, gosh, I can't believe it's already been over a month since Man Whore Con, and I can't. My life is ridiculous. My life is great. And that's because of all the wonderful listeners who showed up and made that weekend one to remember. I'm glad it left an impression on you and your deliciously hot wife. And I'm looking forward to seeing y'all both next year. And God damn it, I'm gonna tuck a little bit of extra time aside at the after party for y'all, because every year it seems to somehow get by us. Thank you so much. And I think one of the things that made Man Whore Con so special was that a lot of the people who came are also members of our fan whore community on Patreon. Seamless transition. I know, I'm so smooth. But for real, what was cool is that, a lot of people have been chatting with each other for weeks, months, for some of them a couple years. They've been chatting with me personally. They've been chatting and making friendships with each other to the point that a lot of them have been like, this is the part I love. A lot of my patrons have started meeting up and banging each other because of all the sexy flirting that goes on in the peep show or the geographical connections that are discovered in the champagne room. So those communities have really been building, and you could see that manifest at Man Whore Con. Now, when you're a member of my fan whore community on Patreon, you get access to a slew of great rewards, as well as more access to yours truly. I definitely give more chatting bandwidth and time to my members than I do your average person who DMs me on Instagram. And I have recently restructured my rewards, so I do want to take a couple minutes, just tell you how you can support the show and what you get in return. All fan whores at the $1 level get a personalized shout out on the show during the fan whore appreciation moment. You get invited to the champagne room, which is our super secret fan whore Facebook group. It's a sex positive discussion group. We share memes, we share photos, we ask for advice, we seek support from one another. And we also share our naughty adventures every Sunday during Sexual Achievement Sunday. The $1 level also gets access to the Craigslist Chronicles bonus episodes. There's about a dozen or so of those stories, of me telling stories about women who will never be on the show. So you'll get access to those. At the $5 level, you get the above rewards, but you also get 3 bonus episodes every month. For example, if you really enjoy this week's guest, Ginger. Tomorrow you can hear even more of Ginger on her Patreon-only bonus episode. Plus, you also get a thank you letter with a naughty haiku every month. At the $10 level, which is becoming a growingly more popular level, Super Pops level, you get all the other rewards, but you also get a 4th bonus episode every month just for the $10 folks. You also get your naughty haiku sent to you via snail mail with a little bit of a personalized touch on my end. You'll also get a Stay Slutty button. Yeah, some free man whore merch for you. But the most popular reward in the $10 level is access to our Not Safe for Work kick group, The Peep Show, which is a fast acting, super sexy group where we all just like to share nudes, gifts, and compliments. At the $50 level, you get all of the things from before, but you also get a personalized thank you video. Yeah, you get a little bit of words from yours truly just for you. And you also get 20% off at my merch store on Gumroad. At the $100 level, you'll also get a free Man Whore Podcast t-shirt or a pair of Stay Slutty panties. At the $250 level, guess what? You get to be on the podcast. Oh, yeah. You coming through New York City anytime soon? And have I announced I'm going to be in a town near you? Well, then, at this level, we will arrange for me to come on over and you will have your very own episode. And then I have this other one where, at $5,000, I will throw you a sex party. You're in charge of the guest list. I will do everything else. I will plan it. I will coordinate. I will decorate. I will supply whatever supplies are needed. I will manage the guest list for you. There is no promise of any sexual favors from me, but I will give you a big old hug and kiss on the cheek if you would like, because you are fucking glorious. I personally think this is a great reward to go in on with like maybe 20 rich friends of yours. Shoot me an email and we'll talk. But to become a member, all you have to do is go to patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. That's Patreon, patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. The $5 and $10 levels happen to be the most popular. But again, even for just $1, you get access to bonus episodes, you get access to the champagne room, and you get to become a part of our community, which is a really fun, awesome, beautiful thing. And you get to support me. Hey, speaking of people who support me, I want to give a shout out to hotmovies.com. Yes, I love me some hot movies. I have been incorporating this paid for porn into my porn viewings. Okay, now do you have to hashtag pay for all your porn? I mean, you should, but not realistic. So you know what? Hashtag pay for some of your porn. Pay for a little bit of it. Throw $30 into the industry here and there. It makes a huge difference. And what I love about hotmovies.com is that it's a pay per minute site. So you can get like 300 minutes of porn viewing for like $30. And you know what I'm watching on Hot Movies? Oh gosh, I just watched a roller derby porno. And I fucking loved it. I love me some roller derby. I think I'm going to end up one day with a woman who does derby. I think that's my type. A derby chick with a cool haircut who's going to correct me on gender pronouns. That's my type. And actually, Hot Movies announced that they are going to be getting a new derby porn. It's called Talk Derby to Me. It comes out next Wednesday, September 19th. I'm very excited for it because it stars Stoya, Joanna Angel, Sovereign Sire, Arabelle Raphael, Gia Page, and a bunch of some other performers. So I'm going to see some like porn chicks I follow on Twitter in skates, wearing the little helmet condom with the star on it. Like, yo, I am here for some roller derby porn. And I'm going to watch it next week on hotmovies.com. And listeners of the Man Whore podcast will get 20 extra minutes of viewing credits when you sign up at hotmovies.com/bonus and use the promo code MANWHORE. Not sure you got the cash, not sure it's worth it. That's fair. I get that. Try the free trial, okay? You sign up using the free trial, use my promo code. The 20-minute free trial turns into a 40-minute free trial. And there's no hidden subscriptions where like you find out 5 months later you've been getting billed every month. None of that. You enter your credit card information when you sign up. You are only billed when you actively make a purchase. Again, go to hotmovies.com/bonus. Use promo code MANWHORE, #pay for some of your porn. And now for this week's guest, Ginger. Oh, Ginger. Yeah, so I met Ginger at a makeout party a couple years ago, and let's just say she don't remember me. Nah. I hit her up. I actually first asked if she would do the live podcast, but she wasn't available, but I still definitely wanted to talk to her. So Ginger came on over, and as soon as I opened the door, she was like, yeah, no bells. Don't remember ya. But that didn't stop us from having an interesting conversation and connecting about like a wide range of topics. So let's go talk about bad kissers and BDSM with Ginger.
Poly cocktails.
Oh, yeah, that place I'm not allowed to anymore.
What happened?
Oh, I got banned from Open Love and Y on some bullshit earlier this year. Like
No
March. I
way.
think it was like late February, like mid-February, late February, yeah.
What happened?
I was hosting a speed dating event.
Interesting.
It's a wonderful side job of mine. And what happens is sometimes they don't go so well for the women there. They're a little underwhelmed.
I mean, isn't that just every day of any woman's life?
Yeah, but then like these women also like paid a cover charge to meet these dudes, and then they're like, "Oh, this offering isn't stellar."
Yeah. You know what that's like? That's like the sex parties that people go to where like women get in for free, guys pay $100, and then the guys like lose their shit if they don't get laid.
Well, yeah,
That's
I
what
mean
it's
that's a
like.
whole different thing. I mean that's why I always liked Hacienda because it's like very equal pricing, and then that eliminates a lot of. At least a lot of the entitlement attitude behind that admission price. Because if you have dudes paying $200 and the women are free, not that they're right, but I understand why their brain got to this shitty place.
It's absolutely a like we are trading this for this. Like this is an exchange rate, right? That's how that works, but
Right.
not quite.
So I mean the men and women both pay to attend the speeding events, and so sometimes they're a little underwhelmed. And in this particular event, you know, the women were not. I think it was like singles in their 20s and 30s, and some of the women, what will happen will then be like, "Well, this host hasn't said anything stupid yet." Because I didn't go on dates with them. I didn't get an opportunity to fuck up.
You would if given the opportunity,
Oh,
but
100%.
Yeah.
I'm very good at fucking up. And so anyways, a couple women were asking me because they were like on a break date and I was just like walking around, but so how's it going? They were like, yeah, it's all right. It's all right. So like, are you single? And I had actually just gotten dumped like a week prior. So I'm already
wow.
in a heartbroken place.
Oh, no.
Right? I was like, yeah, I actually just got dumped on a Sunday. And they were like, oh. And I said, and so they were like, you're available? I was like, yeah. And then I threw in, but just by the way, like, I'm also non-monogamous. And then the look on their faces, these like two very attractive women who were into me instantly looked horrified.
ugh.
And that made me feel shitty. I have emotions too. I know I don't. I know I look like I fist bump dudes in the face.
Yep.
But like I feel, and I didn't know where else to turn, so I went to Open Love and I made a post because I was like feeling sad. So I went to the poly group to get some poly support, and I posted. These two women just asked if I were at the speeding event. Asked if I was available. I said yes. And I told them that I'm non-monogamous, and they looked at me like I punched a Zika baby. See?
Elaborate.
Funny.
Elaborate.
See?
I like
funny.
it.
Proof? Funny. Laughter
Actually.
equals funny. That's how that works. That's the only measuring stick. Whether or not it's offensive is not whether or not it's funny. So
These things can be mutually exclusive. Should they be other? That's a totally different
Yes.
thing. But they can be and should be sometimes
so,
mutually exclusive.
and the subject of the joke is not a Zika baby. The subject of the joke is people treating me, two women treat me kind of shitty for being poly. I post that, lots of likes, no big deal.
Yeah.
A lot of likes, a lot of people saying like, hey, I'm really sorry. That's really shitty. That sucks.
Yep.
So like, great. I'm getting some support that I look for.
It actually sounds like something from a Cards Against Humanity card. Like that's the kind of thing that is. Anyway.
But
continue.
a couple people were not pleased.
SJ doubles use. Excuse me?
Oh, yeah. Careful what you say. Maybe you'll get banned from there next.
I don't go on there, so they got nothing on me.
Well, what happened was I think a couple people commented that they were like, "What? Why is it funny that it's a Zika baby?" I was like, this isn't about like, yes, it's a funny post, but this isn't about funny. Like I'm looking for support. And they were like, well, would it be funny if it's like if it was like a child with Down syndrome? And
It's just like you're baiting me.
yeah, because the answer is yes. It would still be funny. It
Like
serves
punching any child is still funny in the response to this joke.
punching baby in the face, sure, fine, but like add some flavor, add some specificity, some detail. Zika, what kind of baby? Zika baby.
Yes.
Any baby that is unfortunate has some sort of disability is bad to punch in the face,
Yes.
even more than a normal baby.
Yep. You're just heightening the atrocity.
Yes,
And that's what makes it extra funny.
because this is I'm like I felt crazy because I was like, you all know no Zika baby, no baby was punched. Zero
like-
babies were punched in the making of
These
this
are
post.
just words that I wrote onto a computer and then got posted into the ether. Like,
Yeah.
what are you holding against me now?
So they were like, would it be funny if it was Down syndrome baby? I was like, yeah. It'd also be funny if it was like, kick the crutches out from a woman holding her groceries or slashing the tires on a special needs bus. All these things would cause someone to look horrific. And this is how these women looked at me for being poly. You know, that thing we all share in this Facebook group. Anyways, the mods were not pleased. Christy and them were not pleased. They've also never been pleased with me, apparently, with
no.
the things I post on the internet.
Oh, man.
And so they use that as an opportunity to ban me from the group and then also from Poly Cocktails and anything else that they host.
Man.
It's fine. I found another group that is way more reasonable, and I had other people reach out privately and said like they overdid it and they
Yep.
overreacted. I was like, that's whatever.
They were biased.
I don't need Poly Cocktails.
Yeah. Are there other poly places to go that I don't know about?
I joined a Poly Facebook group.
Okay.
Because really just what I need is like I needed some place to go when I have something that's poly specific, poly problems or whatever.
Yep.
Because otherwise my Facebook feed is full of like fucking people I went to high school with and stand-up comedians.
Yep.
Comics, fun and all, not great for like moral support on poly.
No. Or most things. Let's be honest.
Well, and it was funny that I reached out to a buddy of mine who is in the group and he's a comedian, David Piccolomini, friend of the pod. And I was like, yo, so this happened. He's like, yeah, Billy, my only issue with the post is that Zika baby is hack. He's like, it's not
hack.
He was like, it's not offensive. It's just, it's a hacky punchline.
Oh,
I was like,
that's
fair.
the thing though. Like comedian friends are always gonna like come back at you with like, oh, but more funny. And it's like, no, I just want you to be a person for like just a minute.
At that point, it cheered me. It cheered me up.
Course.
So yeah, so that is why.
But that's why
I am no longer welcome at Open Love and Y events.
Okay. Well, sad to see you go, but like not really. Basically.
Thanks. It's very kind of my guest this week, Ginger, to say, hey,
Hey.
ho.
Hi, Billy.
Hi, hello.
Here I am.
Yeah, here you are. Let's just start with this for a moment. Do you remember me at all?
Not even remotely.
Perfect.
I thought maybe like when I heard your voice, because I am face blind, I thought maybe when I like heard your voice, it was like near you, something would trigger, but there's just nothing. There's just nothing there.
It's perfect.
So there's a half of my brain that's like, you should feel bad about this. Guilt. I'm like, or I could just not.
I mean, do you really need to keep track of everyone you've made out with?
God, I would never have the RAM.
See, I do it because I professionally have to.
Yes. And it works for you. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to have gotten this far in your podcast if you didn't have that kind of memory, which is impressive, let's be honest.
Yeah, and the help of like a Google spreadsheet. So
Have you kept one for years?
So before I had the podcast, there was
Yeah.
just like a doc and it just had everyone in order and like what we did. And just, like just using the bases. Like it would be like so and so 2, so and so 3 receiving, like you know, or so you know this person.
You had a shorthand.
Yeah, 4 plus RJ because like we have to let people know who licked my asshole because it is a special thing.
It is. It's very, very special.
Yeah. So
I have a couple of different lists. There's like people that I like made out with. I don't have them actual lists, but like people that I've like made out with and done stuff like not quite including sex.
Or you forgot to put me on that list.
I did forget to put you on that list. I guess I'm not going to say that because that's mean. Come
on, no.
I guess you weren't impressive enough.
Maybe that's probably it. Look, I forgot to tell you. Be open, honest. You can insult me. You can interrupt. You can yell. You can cry. Whatever.
All right, I'll do my best to be sincere, genuine. I have like a not quite sex list. That's kind of less important to me in general because like if they don't make it onto the more intimate stuff list, like they probably weren't worth remembering in the first place. And then there's like the list of people I had intercourse with, and that's great. And then there's the like just as important list of people that I have not fucked but had like really intense scenes with, or like you know, had important like relationships with that did not involve sex but did involve kink stuff. So
and the people you want to fuck, they just have headshots of them in your closet.
Well, we don't talk about that on the internet.
So when I reached out to you, you were like, "Hey, don't really remember, but okay, I'll do the thing."
This is great.
So we made out at a lip service party.
Yes.
Which I'm also not welcome at anymore.
What?
And once again, Billy's... Look, anything that I'm banned from has nothing to do with any sort of consent violations, which is hilarious.
I believe that. I legitimately believe that.
Right, because there are people who go to those parties who have committed consent violations. They're welcome.
Yep.
It's a weird world.
Yep.
We don't have to get into the specifics of Gemini and Scorpio today.
Yeah, they're not... I like their parties, but they're not my favorite either.
Sure.
It's just some...
They're fun entryway parties.
Exactly.
But
they're good. They're good beginning steps.
At this present stage, they can fuck off. So
respectfully,
my first lip service, you were the first person I didn't go with that I made out with during the spin the bottle game.
Oh, we just made out during spin the bottle.
That's all it was.
Okay, then. Yeah, I definitely would not remember you.
That's fine.
I loved those spin the bottle games. That was like the most excellent. Because when you're a kid, you play spin the bottle and you're like, this is weird and I feel exhilarated and terrified and it's just kind of awful. And so you don't really do it. And then you think like as an adult, like spin the bottle is, you know, it's for losers for teenagers. But actually playing spin the bottle as an adult it's just everything you want it to be. It really is. You get to watch hot people make out. You get to make out with hot people. You get to be considered hot by other people while you make out. There's no bad way to do it.
There are bad ways, like when you have to make out with like not hot people.
Yes, I would. It's not even like about hot. It's about like when you have to make out with people who are bad kissers.
I think those are separate things, but they're both very valid.
The only thing that matters to me is if some's a bad kisser.
Okay, well, yeah. you expound on the bad kissing, and then I'll go back into ugly people.
Oh man, so like this is actually the most intense one. Was like it was actually the last lip service I went to for a while, and my pal that night was Sky. I think his name was something. It was something. I remember what he looked like, but
was something his burner name? I hear that's a lot of people at these play parties. They throw around their burner name as their nickname.
Yeah, no, that was his FetLife name. That's what it was.
FetLife name.
Something
69.
Dr. Something.
Yeah, Dr. Something. Great.
Anyway, he was a guy that like I think I'd met at a Poly Cocktails, like, and he'd wanted to go to lip service. So I was like, I could use a pal. Like, why don't you come with me? And he'd been flirting with me and I wasn't interested, but I let him come with me as a like, hey, you know, I will happily help introduce you to this world. And he kind of wasn't for it. He was really unnecessarily aggressive. Like, he was the one who was
Wait,
like,
for as in he wasn't appropriate for it, or he wasn't into
like,
okay.
he was the one who was like giving people consent issues, like borderline consent issues, where it was just like, you know, kissing someone for too long and like holding the back of their head when they were trying to pull away, kind of thing. That's not cool. And he was also, as I found out one unfortunate bottle spin later, like, you just, when you go in and their tongue is already halfway out of their mouth, you're not gonna have a good time.
I like how you said, you know, he's committed consent violations, but you know what's even worse? He's a bad kisser.
I did not.
What could we possibly think of that's worse than sexual assault? Bad form, you know? Like,
Bad
come
form.
on.
Have you ever just had someone's tongue like all up and down your face and just like inside of your throat? It's not.
I've had women spear dart their tongues down my throat, or they like give an ambiguous amount of time. Or, you know, it irks me more with kissing is people who do open mouth kissing with no tongue and like, but just kind of keep their mouth open for a long. Because I'm like, so do you want my tongue? Do you not? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, like, are we just breathing for each other? Like, that's weird.
Because like otherwise, like open mouth kissing without tongue should be like short, like you're opening and closing continuously.
Yeah.
You're not opening and just holding it.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I mean, the variation on that works. This is my preferred kissing method, is lip kissing, where it's like, there's not that big head tilt. You're just kind of kissing at each other's lips the whole time. And it's just better. It's just better because the tongue, I'm not sure what tongues are supposed to do with French kissing. Like, there's not a lot of nerve endings there. They're really wet. And then you're just tasting someone else's like food leftovers. Like, that's not fun for me.
Hopefully when you're going to a makeout party, people are brushing their teeth a bit.
I mean, true. But I'm just talking about in general with kissing. Because in my head, I've already moved on to like general kissing rules for Ginger.
Yeah. So that guy, bad kisser.
Bad kisser.
And that's the big turnoff for you.
I mean, like we were talking about, like, you know, ways in which the spin the bottle can be not that much fun. And that's really the only thing, is like, if someone's just being unnecessarily aggressive, or B, if like they're making out with you and you're like, this is no, you're not, you have no technique, no finesse, just stop.
How are they supposed to learn, Ginger?
Well,
how do we learn how to kiss better?
I came very close. In fact, like, if I had seen him again, I probably would have been like, so look, you are cool, but I think part of the reason that you weren't getting the response you wanted is because your kissing technique is really sloppy.
Is there a kissing coach out there? Maybe that's a career path.
That is absolutely a thing. I'm sure, even though I've never come across it, I'm sure it's a thing. It can't not be a thing,
It needs
right?
to be a thing.
It ought to be a thing.
Yeah. $25 an hour.
Yes.
No, sorry, $25 a half.
Yeah, half hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I teach you how to kiss, and it can be an overall dating thing. You know, if comedy doesn't work out, I found my new thing.
There you go.
I've been told I'm a fairly good kisser.
Well, fairly good. I don't know if it's going to cut it. You got to be like truly excellent to have as a profession.
Yeah, but I can't say I'm an excellent kisser because I sound like an asshole. I already look like one. I have to be very cautious with my wording.
Oh no, I think that if you look like an asshole and you sound like an asshole, but you're completely confident about it, then it's just what you make it. Like, confidence is sexy, 100%.
Well, with Spin the Bottle, the other unfortunate thing is, like, so the party is like a pansexual makeout party.
Yes.
So at minimum, you need to be obviously comfortable with other people around, like of various genders making out with each other. But you can play Spin the Bottle if you're, say, a straight guy and you don't want to make out with dudes. You can pass. You can say, I don't want to make out with that person. But you're going to look really fucking lame.
You really are.
So you gotta like, and what was frustrating that first time I went, I landed on my first 6 spins, 5 of the 6 spins I had to kiss dudes.
You also, I'm pretty
I had
sure,
very bad luck.
I feel like at least the first couple of events that I went to, like lip service parties, were like dude heavy, which is unfortunate.
Well, our circle was not dude heavy. I was just Look,
Bad
I
luck.
have been a bad gambler for a long, long time, Ginger. And just for timeline's sake, this would have been February 2016. Whenever that part, I think the day before Valentine's Day, whatever. Because I remember my outfit was red. I wore like this red robe thing and like cute red undies, and I had a bag around my neck. Oh, someone drew a.
Wait, were you wearing white underwear with red hearts on it?
I will pull up a photo.
Please do.
And people, you will see this photo.
I might remember the outfit.
You'll probably see this photo on Instagram unless I decide to be annoying and post it behind the paywall on Patreon. I will decide that when I'm ready to.
Yes,
it's
it's
my
your
body.
picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's on your phone, so you're just going to show it to me with your screen.
That I am.
Yeah.
So I had my friend drew a red heart around my eye, one eye, like a big red heart. And that was good. Okay, so I had this heart over my eye.
And the silk, I actually, your hair was
This.
very different. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And,
Yeah?
Okay. First of all, clean shaven, you look like an entirely different human.
Oh, yes. It's very different.
And your hair is totally different. Yeah. No, I don't. That person I recognize.
Yeah?
So yeah.
So what I should have done is open the door half naked. You would have been like, now I remember.
You would have had to shave. And
I could have
you
done that.
Or you could have just, left the mystery and had just nobody would care.
Fair.
Yeah.
And the other thing I had is I was wearing a bag around my neck and I put Hershey Kisses in it, and I had a sign that says like, take a kiss, leave a kiss. So basically it's like, oh, if you want Hershey Kiss, you just gotta give me a kiss.
Yes.
I thought that was cute.
I think it was cute too.
It didn't work out too well, but like it's fine. It's fine.
You know, you tried, you failed, you'll try again.
I was creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first time I'd ever seen that.
Yeah. So I brought a couple friends back in like January. I went with
That January or this January?
this past January. I went with like my then girlfriend, a couple of their friends, and then like one of my dearest friends who I don't fool around with, because she's all like, you know what, I want to get out there and try some things. So bring her to the thing. We go in the circle, and she had to make out with this one dude who had this like beard, and he was just like, he was a little, I call unfortunate looking. And he was such a bad kisser, but apparently had bad breath. And she landed on him 3 times.
Oh.
And she kept telling me, like, Billy, he's such a bad kisser. Like, such a bad kisser.
This is so unpleasant. Oh, God. Save me. Save
so
me.
that's part of the thing with spin the bottle.
Yeah.
You're running a risk.
You are.
So for me, like that.
Like love, it is always a risk.
Right. So on that night, I like landed on a lot. So I was trying to be a good sport.
Yeah.
Right. So I would basically, like, if I landed on a dude, I would basically go like, all right, come here. I got, as you know, I was mimicking the bros who used to beat me up in high school. I did the best I could. All right, come on here, you. And I would just grab both cheeks with my hands and I'd give him a big like grandpa kiss, like a mwah.
Oh my God.
Because I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah. You're not gonna make out with them.
I'm not making it. It's just I'm not there. I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
I'm not in that place.
It was your first party. I mean, that's
I've been to plenty of sex parties, just not a makeout party.
Yeah, and it's this.
And I'm not into men, which makes that a whole different level thing to transcend. Mm-hmm. It's like I'm only making out with dudes if it's like on order from a woman I love of many years.
Yeah. See, this is what's nice about being bi. It's just everybody.
Yeah. How dare you have that convenience?
I do not take it for granted. I'll tell you that much.
Uh-huh.
Like I talk to like even literally my sister sometimes is like, so women, right? I'm like, yeah, women.
Women, am I right?
Basically,
hey.
though. And there have been times where she's like, she says that thing that women say sometimes, and other people have said this to me before, like, sometimes I wish I was gay. And I'm like, well, women are crazy too. Like, it's not better. It's just different. It's just like a little bit different. And also like
maybe a few more orgasms, but you're dealing with a lot more crazy.
Couple more orgasms, but like you gotta be willing to accept the taste. Totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I found that like sucking dick it was something I was uncomfortable with at first. And then when it was someone that I really liked, someone that I really liked, I was like, wait, this is awesome. Oh man, I want to get really good at this now. So I did.
And how did we get really good at this?
Practice.
Same way you get the Carnegie Hall. Okay. There we go.
I'm embarrassed for you at that joke.
They say, hey, how do you suck dick at Carnegie Hall? And I say, practice. Or if you know the booker, either one.
Yeah,
blow
really.
the booker, really, is how you do it.
if Carnegie Hall had those kind of stage performances, I would totally go. I'd pay that money. Right? But I think they just do like, I don't know, orchestral music or some shit. I don't know. And then I got to going down on women later in my life.
You said that like it was yesterday. Like later, like as in yesterday. I just started.
I sometimes that's what it feels like. Actually, that's what it feels like. Because a dick, it's like, it's just there and pretty much the same thing works for almost all dicks. And the same thing does not work for all vaginas.
I think the same thing works for all dicks, but whatever extra thing you do it goes dick to dick.
Yes, that's true.
Like I think with going down on women, like women are very different. I think all dicks, you have a baseline mechanic that will work. Then anything extra, you're going to need to check. Like, does he like his head played with? Does he like the swivel hand? Does he like two hands? Does he like that hand-mouth combo? Does he want to know it? Do you need to stick a finger in his ass?
Yep.
All the extras, I think, are extra. But I think there's that baseline mechanic that anyone can kind of do.
Yeah. You know what I never quite know what to do with, even though sometimes I want to, is like, I don't know what to do with the balls.
Yeah.
Because some guys are just so sensitive that like you touch them even a little bit the wrong way and it's like their hot arm just disappears. And you're like, shit,
Where'd
no.
it go? Look under the bed.
I popped the balloon and now the sex is over. Fuck. Rather than like everything else, I know what to do with, and then other guys like really like their balls played with, but they're weird and they're squishy and I don't really know what they do. Like, what do you do with
If
them?
it makes you feel better, I own a pair of balls.
You don't know what to do with them.
I don't even know what to do.
That's great. That actually does make me feel better.
I feel like I'm supposed to have her do stuff with my balls only because I'm like, I guess I'm supposed to.
They're accessible.
It's not because like I need people to play with my balls. I'm just like, I guess I'm supposed to ask for the balls. I don't know. It's like when you go to a fancy restaurant, you want to order one thing, but everyone's like, no. You gotta try the oysters. I'm like, I'm not really an oysters guy.
I like it. Oyster is a good simile for this. Please continue.
I'm not an oysters man. I'm really more about steak. No. You gotta get the oysters. It's like, are you sure? Okay, I guess I'll get them. And then you get them, and like they're fine, but I still really would have rather had the steak.
Yeah, seriously. Everyone would have always just get what's in your heart, as in get what's in your dick. Suck the dick that you want to suck is all I'm saying.
You just shoved a lot of things right there.
I really did. I didn't know where to go with the statement, so I just decided to throw everything in the pot.
That's okay.
See what happened there.
You were starting to say things, eventually look around, just like, where's that person in the improv scene who runs in front of us to clear the scene?
Right? That's exactly
where I could use that right now. Suck the dick you want to suck, I think. I help. So anyways, yeah, so at the makeout party in the Spin the Bottle, one of the few women I finally got to make out with was you.
Me.
And then what happens is I
was great, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I would ask names partially just because like I was like, when I walked up to each woman in the middle of the circle, I'd be like, can I have your name? And or it'd be like, hi, I'm Billy. Just so I want to know who I'm sucking face with.
Yeah.
And then like I remembered and I put that right in the list, tucked it away.
Yeah.
Forget things. The only reason I actually know who you are and don't know how to find these other women who I only have like first names for.
Yep.
Is because I went to like a storytelling open mic.
Yes.
And I recognized you.
Yes.
And you were talking to and I saw you talking to her and was like, that's the chick I made out with at lip service. I don't need to go like bombard her right now, but I'm just gonna like make a mental note. And then I went and searched like her Facebook friends. I just searched Ginger and I found you.
Yep. Here I was. And I continue to be.
Yeah. I was like, let's write down that last name because like I don't know, at some point in time I'm gonna need to ask her to be on the show.
Yep. Did I tell a story that night?
Probably. I probably also didn't stick around to watch because I'm a piece of shit.
Storytelling, that's actually, I don't know if they still do that at the Delancey.
It's more of a variety open mic.
Yeah.
Do you know Ames Beckerman?
I don't.
Ames, this dude Ames runs it. And yeah.
I really liked the storytelling mic.
An Eskimo brother of yours and hers too.
Oh.
Yeah. Also used to do that to that person.
Such a small world, though.
Small world,
it's
and one very slutty dude that was involved.
But like no truer statement though.
Mm-hmm.
I I had such high hopes for that person.
For that relationship?
And I said this, I think, before the recording started, relationship is a generous word.
Well, what was that relationship about, or whatever it was?
It was, okay, so, like, this person, he was someone that, like, I knew because, he ran that
open mic.
Also
ran some other storytelling shows in New York City.
And I would see him sometimes at the dungeon downstairs, but, like, not really. That
whole dungeon party, by the way, always made me, is that what it was called? It made me uncomfortable.
Yeah,
it's a $5 sex party. I know it's a fetish party, but I say sex party because it's funnier if it's a sex party. Also comes with less questions. It's a $5 sex party. And then I'm just like, a homeless guy can panhandle $5 in an hour.
Yep.
I know sex parties are trying to be more accessible, but also, can we like raise the price to keep out homeless people?
Yeah, no. And I really think that when it comes to both sex and fetish parties, it's about like who hosts. It's about like, the best play, and I call them play parties. Mm-hmm. The best play parties I've ever been to have been hosted by like the cream of the crop people who are involved in the scene.
How'd you get invited to such cream of the crop parties?
I looked at them on FetLife.
Oh, okay. Is that really where all the sex parties are listed? FetLife?
Oh yeah, I found out at Lip Service.
I'm not on FetLife.
I found out at Lip Service from FetLife. But that the one in particular that I'm talking about, I guess I'd seen it at the time. The kind of quote unquote organization or company or whatever was called Wild's Playground.
Okay.
And on FetLife, and I didn't use it that much then. I don't use it a ton now. But Wild's Playground, like, messaged me personally, like, my FetLife page was like, Mwah. I actually felt like I think, like, I was a friend of a friend kind of thing. Like, I'd met someone at a party, who was, like, close to the people who ran Wild's Playground. And I was messaged like, hey, like, here's this party. It is great. You should come. Like, I think you'd really like it. I can't remember what the phrasing was, but I was very flattered. Mm-hmm. And I checked out the page and it didn't seem like a hoax. It didn't seem like, someone trying to swindle me. And I asked around. It was legitimate. They ran a couple of parties. So, Wild's Playground used to host parties called Lotus. They were hosted out of a pretty smallish space, a studio on some high rise in like 46 or something.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like the scene wasn't extra better, like the play wasn't extra better. It was just somehow like the people that ended up at this particular party hosted by these particular people were just like of a higher caliber of kink. Mm-hmm. And like they were, people for whom it was a lifestyle.
Sure.
It was like not a choice. It was a necessity.
And then would you make a good impression with them? And they're like, we got to invite Ginger more to the parties.
Yes.
That's great. She's fun. She gets tied up well. She also brings the best cupcakes.
I do bring the best. No, I wasn't the one who brought cupcakes that time.
Do you actually bring food to these parties?
You can. Mostly it's bring your own booze, but you can. Right. But there was one time, I think it was somebody's birthday in the group, and it was just like somebody brought cupcakes. They were delicious.
See, there were cupcakes. So there's a hacienda on Saturday.
I've never been to a hacienda.
You never been to a hacienda?
I don't know how it's
how
never
have you not happened. You slutty weirdo. How have you never been?
I've just been in like an alternate universe of the kink community. If you want to invite me, please do.
Sure. Yeah. Yes. It's not like that exclusive of an invite.
But I have tried to go and have not been able to.
Okay.
So
why? Do people say like I'm not bringing you or
no, I've never met someone who had been.
Okay.
Somehow.
Well,
or at least had never like met someone and then we'd talked about it and I'd found out that they.
It's the least I can do for having you do this show.
Yay! I was excited.
Well, I went Saturday and there were cupcakes, but I couldn't eat them because I was on day 3 of like this no carbs thing.
No carbs thing sounds stupid.
I lost 8 pounds in 6 days.
Yeah.
And then today I get the binge, and then I gotta not do it again till next Thursday when I go to Cancun, and then hopefully I will be like, a little slimmer.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Great.
Anyways,
I cut myself off from carbs for a month. I lost 15 pounds, and I also lost my mind.
yeah.
So,
But I'm okay. I don't need my mind. I don't need that.
Yeah, no, that's not
Right?
necessary for what you do.
No, to feel decent about myself for 5 seconds, I don't need my mind.
All right, I can respect that. For me, it was an enlightening experience.
This is how eating disorders work, everybody. If you don't know,
it is an actual addiction, friends.
This is the rationalization behind the disorder. Okay.
Yep.
We're
getting a little off topic.
That's okay. We've talked about my eating disorder quite a bit on this show.
Good. We can talk about mine for the rest of the time, but I feel like that would be boring.
No, let's go into the. Well, what was your introduction into kink? You're a gal in your mid-20s, if I can say.
Or do you mean like what was my introduction to like the idea of kink, or what was my introduction to like kink parties and
I consider
stuff?
both of those different points in the same story. As in, like, let's start with how you got into kink. I'm sure that will lead to the party.
Okay. The real truth of this is that I read my first BDSM themed erotic fan fiction when I was 13.
Literotica?
No, fanfiction.net.
I was a big fan of Literotica.
I am currently a big fan of Literotica, let me tell you.
Now I have a hard time going back to reading.
Yeah, of
I can
course.
read Reddit stories, oddly enough, so maybe I can. I'll put it this way. It's hard for me to find in the category I look in that we're not going to disclose because Billy's allowed to have a couple secrets.
Oh, yeah. No, we're not talking about the stuff I look up either.
No. This is not how that works. Billy has like no secrets because he does this thing. I've kept like 2 or 3 secrets to keep because I want to have something left.
Yes, I understand that.
But like this is your opportunity to share one of these anonymously. Wait, what categories are you searching in Literotica?
And Literotica, exclusively within the orgasm control and orgasm denial.
Oh, come on! That's not the one you were trying to not say.
That is the one I was trying to not say.
What's so embarrassing about that?
It's not the embarrassment of like what it is. It's the embarrassment of the extent to which I like it.
Okay, so you like what? So you said forced orgasms and orgasm denial, or
no, orgasm control and orgasm denial.
Okay,
those are technically 2 different tags, so they're very, very much like the same.
It's amazing that forced orgasm control is a thing because like so many dudes struggle just to give one by accident.
I know, right?
And yet then there are dudes who are like, no, I'm going to control it and like either deny it to you or force you to have multiple.
Yep.
And then there are just dudes who are like, it's just like, cause I gotta imagine if, like,
stories.
If a guy like goes like, what are you into? And she's like, forced orgasms. He's like, yeah, I can do that. And then he tries to like force one. And she's like, you haven't even gotten close to the first.
That's something you got to do. Like you got to introduce way, way later in a relationship once things have worked out in a certain event.
Or early on if the person just happens to be good in bed, I feel like.
True.
Or
absolutely
if
true.
you have a motor bunny, everybody, they're not even sponsoring this episode, and I'm still plugging that shit. You use promo code MANWHORE for $50 off. I've used the motor bunny for orgasm denial. Mm-hmm. It's easy to do with orgasm denial because do you know what the motor bunny is?
I have no idea. Please tell me.
Do you know what a Sybian is?
Yeah, I had a feeling it was something like that.
It's an off-brand Sybian.
Yeah,
right?
basically.
So I can control it, and then as she's like, "Oh my god, I'm so close! I'm so close." You go from 9 down the fucking 1, and I've been cursed out many a time.
Yes,
it's very fun.
Accurate.
But I had one woman like a month ago wanted to try forced orgasms. She said my pussy's very sensitive, so I want to see if I can handle it. So I'm gonna say like I'm gonna seem in pain, but here's the safe word. So you don't turn it down until I say that. And so I was trying to actually do forced orgasms with the bunny, which I imagine one can do too. You just after she comes, you just leave it cranked on 10 and just, no matter how much it hurts, I guess.
Yeah. Just enjoy the show, really.
Say it loud. I shit and I'm proud. No, you don't want to brag about your poops. Hey, I get it. There's nothing sexy about taking a dump, especially if you walk away wondering if there's still a little nugget between those cheeks. Toilet paper doesn't always get the job done, and wet wipes clog your toilets. But I'm here to tell you there's a better way. Switch to Tushy, the modern bidet attachment that clips onto any standard toilet and washes your booty hole in a way none of that other stuff can. Look, this is what I really like about Tushy. This is their ad copy. They use the word booty hole And I love a brand that knows exactly what's going on. Hey, I know what you're thinking. You think it's probably super expensive, right? Yeah, well, it's not. Even a broke bitch like Billy Procida can afford one of these things. You can get a tushy that starts at only $69. Yeah, and I gotta tell y'all, I am loving my tushy. Everyone who comes over, I've been since I installed it last weekend, I said, have you tried the tushy? Have you tried the bidet? You should try the bidet. Tushy is perfect for post-poop, post-sex, pre-sex, pre-butt play, post-butt play. It's actually perfect for every situation that goes on back there. Give your bottom the clean it deserves with Tushy. Go to hellotushy.com and get 10% off your order with promo code MANWHORE. That's hellotushy, HELLOTUSHY.com, promo code MANWHORE. Stop wiping and start washing with Tushy. Now let's get to the show. Have you gotten to enjoy forced orgasms or orgasm denial in person?
Some, like a little bit. It's something that my most recent partner and I have finally kind of gotten into. Haven't like, it's not been a conversation, but I have indicated to him over a period of time that like, this is something I really enjoy. We haven't gotten to a point of like, you must come only on my command, which is kind of peak.
Yeah.
But
you have to really be in tune with that person's body.
Yeah.
Because you both want to be able to like actually take control and make her wait to when you want to, but also you have to be in tune with the body to tell that she's even closer in that realm of possibility.
Absolutely. The one thing that makes it easier, and this was something like, so when I first started having sex, then this is a common story, I wasn't climaxing during sex at all for like the first year or so. 2 years. And I didn't really care that much. My partner cared a lot. Yeah. He was intense. There were lots of other things with that relationship.
It has to do with his entire sense of self.
Yep.
If I can't make her come, then what's my purpose?
Right? Like, why are you even with me? Like, but that boy had so many fucking issues. Anyway, we're really actually not going to get into that.
Okay, sassy pants.
This is a much more interesting story because I didn't come during sex at all. And then I was high one night and we were fucking and it was really nice and I was feeling really good and I experienced something and I was like, I think I just fucking came. My very first G-spot orgasm changed my fucking life. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, and let me tell you all people who have G-spots, like please make friends, make best.
I like how
fucking friends.
Does anyone else enjoy? I know how I'm talking to nobody in particular as I look off into
off
somewhere else.
The closet doors over there.
Yeah, when I stop looking at you, it's me talking to them.
Yes. I know. There's a lot of people in this.
Anyone like how the chick in her mid-20s is trying to like advise women everywhere to be like, you should all have orgasms, as if they haven't been or haven't been trying. I'm
just G-spot. Like, no, because I mean,
I just want to imagine the 40-year-old be like, wait, G-spot, that was the answer? Thank God. I had this girl born in the 90s told me. Thank God.
Shut the fuck up, bitch. No, man. Well, it's so frustrating because like I always end up coming across, maybe not always, I come across as condescending, but I just mean it from my heart.
Me too.
Whatever, right?
I'm always told I'm condescending to younger people. Didn't you just experience it? Okay.
I'm going to kick you in the balls and you're not going to enjoy it.
No, I'm not into CBT at all. Unless it's cognitive behavioral therapy. Then I like it, but I can't afford it.
Oh my God, who can? Anyway,
what's your current? You seem fairly active these days.
Yes.
Okay. You seem like you've got partners, you got people you bang.
Mm-hmm.
What was your growing up, like high school, college? Like, what was your activity like? Like, who was Ginger back then in the dating world?
I mean, in the dating world, I was just a person full of fantasies and nowhere to put them. Like my lowest bar for like being intimate with someone was that I trust them. And somehow that didn't seem like the people that were also interested in me because I was plus size growing up as well as now, that was not really like the people who were interested in me were not the best people. I dated, and I used the word dated very generously.
You seem
again.
to use that word very generously in general.
My like first quote unquote boyfriend, we never even kissed.
Okay.
Like it was like that classic high school, like, oh, we're dating, but like we don't actually do anything together. And
Oh yeah. Those, I remember those.
that.
Yeah. For sure.
And then another guy, same shit. The next year, there was this one time with this guy I met at a Staples when I was like 16 or 17.
Staples, the hot high school pickup spot.
Yep, except that he was not in high school.
Why does this not surprise me?
Yeah, and we hung out, and I somehow ended up back in his apartment, and I panicked because I was like, wait,
As you should have, since you were a child.
Yeah, like you do. And his door was unlocked, and I just left. I was like,
how old was he?
I don't know. I mean, not like way older. He was probably in his early 20s, but I was like,
that's still nowhere close to cool.
Yeah, no, that's not. But I've never. Guys my age suck. They're
right,
just
guys,
the worst.
people our age always seem to suck, no matter what age you are.
Yes.
You will always find something a fault, right? But like, what are you thinking when this dude in his early 20s is talking to you and then inviting you back?
Yeah.
What? But
Yeah.
no, but what's in your head for that?
I don't like. What's in my head in that moment is like, oh man, person who is attracted to me, are you even real? Oh man,
Were people not attracted to you in high school?
No, I was okay in high school. I was like a complete outcast socially. I had like one friend in my grade who I'm still friends with to this day.
Okay.
And then like a couple of other pseudo friends in other grades. But people in my year, they just mocked the shit out of me because I was weird. I was like walking around the hallways, like balancing my books on my head and like singing loudly and really not giving a shit what was normal or like average or what I was supposed to be doing or saying, and just saying whatever I felt like. So I was quote unquote super fucking weird. And so yeah, like people didn't treat me well, talk about me nicely, or definitely if they were attracted to me, it wouldn't matter because it was socially unacceptable to be into me.
Right, same. I mean, for me, it was like to be friends with me. It was socially unacceptable.
Man. Yep.
I mean, which also carries into being interested.
Yep. Except like also worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the kids who, like not the goth, the outcast kids and the kids with like possible behavioral issues. Even they kind of picked on me.
Oh man.
It's weird when like the kid who like is possibly a little autistic also has to bully me just to keep his social rep up.
That's harsh, man. That's brutal. That's why you're such a good comedian.
So when you're 16, you got this guy who's way too old, and he's going, and you're thinking like, just you're not even seeing the age. You're blinded by the attention that
and by
that
just like
is attention
opportunity. Yeah. Like, oh man, I have been like wanting to have any type of physically intimate experience since I was like old enough to have, nerve endings, which that's not exactly what I mean, but
let's
know
go
what
with
I mean.
like have a period. That's probably a better time that you start fantasizing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Let's go with, I definitely only fantasized after I got my period.
Yeah.
What?
Let's go with that for now.
Sure. But I was thinking like, I really I want to do stuff with this person. I don't want to do that much stuff with them. I just want to like make out with them or something. And
had you made out with anyone?
I had at that point made out with one person. Some asshole that I like met on a cruise. He was French. He was really an asshole. Was he
also older?
No, he was my age.
Okay.
Yes, he was my age.
So you made out with like an inappropriately older man.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how and when did you ever think anything different of it? Did you ever think like this is kind of odd, or were you just more again into the attention?
Okay, like historically, when I was 15, I was touched inappropriately by my like a friend of the family, and it was the same sensation of like, this is bad, and I know this is not right, but like, oh hey, my nerve endings are firing and someone is showing me affection. So, like, maybe I'll just wait this out and see if it goes in the direction I want.
See where it takes us.
And it did not go in the direction I wanted, and it got weird, and I was like, okay, never mind. I got up, and I left, and it didn't have severe impact on my mental health at 15 years old. Abso-fucking-lutely. But I got past it, eventually. In fact, 1 month ago, I saw him for the first time since that a moment of 10 years ago. I confronted him, told him what he'd done to me, that whether or not he remembered, because he claimed he didn't remember. It didn't matter because his actions had an effect on other people. I completely told him off, ripped him to shreds, looking, by the way, fine as fuck.
Okay.
He didn't say anything, and I just walked out. Like, it was honestly one of the most proud moments I've ever had for myself. I was like, I prepared for that conversation. I had it successfully. I didn't break down. I was completely strong in the face of someone who really hurt me. And now I just can just not care. Like, I can just not care about it anymore. And that was the most powerful thing about it, was because I had to spend that weekend, like, he was going to kind of be around, exactly. And he would be in the room, and I just, like, it just didn't matter to me anymore. That was a huge relief. And that was such a milestone of, like, I am now capable of taking care of myself and standing up for myself again. Good job, Ginger. 10 points to Gryffindor. That's not true. I'm a Hufflepuff.
Time for the fan whore appreciation moment. Oh, yeah. This is the part of the podcast where I like to give a shout out to some of the members of my sex positive fan whore community on Patreon. I want to give a shout out to Shauna, a ginger who apparently played a little bit of rugby. And I think my type of woman, you know, if she's not coordinated enough to do roller derby, my kind of gal plays rugby. Just saying. All right. Thank you to Rayshana. What's up, girl? Hey, fellow history buff. I love it. I want to know what type of history you're into. Me, myself, New York City history. But shoot me an email. Let's chat. And thank you to Kim Norton, who is just this MILF in Texas, who I am so glad is a fan of the show. Thank you all so much for your support, and I respect your membership. And you too can become a member for as little as $1 per month. Just for $1, you get access to our sex positive discussion group, The Champagne Room, access to bonus episodes, and oh so much more. All you have to do is go to patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. Become a member at Patreon, patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. But now let's go ahead and wrap up with Ginger.
You said preparing for that conversation, like, is that a type of thing where, like, for years you were talking to yourself in the mirror? Or
no, it was
it like you knew you were going to be seeing him and you prepped?
I prepped. I had I literally had, like, we were talking about DBT,
yeah, with
the, like, little script. Like, I had a script ready of, like, this is what I'm planning on saying, more or less. Things that I should not bring up. This, also this. Don't make it about this. Please stay on point. And by, like, I prepped for, like, 2 days with some help from my therapist at the time. And that was, those were the tools I needed to, like, well, that, and I also had someone help me, like, kind of pull him out of the party that we were both at into another room so I could have a conversation privately.
Little bait and switch. Hey, want to come get some cake?
Basically.
Yeah, I'd love some cake. I just imagine he's gross out like, yeah, I love some cake.
Yeah, he's
all right, cake. And then he goes in, yeah, I'll just be right back with the cake. And then she closes the door and boom.
Basically.
It's Ginger.
Let's go with that because that's a great version of that story and that's exactly what happened.
Okay, when I direct your biopic, I'll make sure it looks cinematically just as good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Anytime. It was very cinematic. Mm-hmm. There was that awesome moment of, like, I could see him being like, oh shit. And trying to, like, edge out the door and me just
And that's
stepping.
when you know he remembers. Because, why else are you edging the fuck away?
Yeah, like, why are you nervous if you didn't do anything.
You didn't
right?
do anything. You'd be like, Ginger, babe, haven't seen you in a decade. Look
Yeah,
at
right?
you, all grown up and legal, which makes me uninterested.
At the time, I was 15. He was 30.
Yeah.
And he had a
now
girlfriend
he's-
back home.
So you just told off a 40-year-old.
Yeah, basically.
Anytime you can say, tell someone, an elder to fuck off, it's just a wonderful thing.
It's a great
It's a great
day.
feeling.
Yeah, he started edging out of the door, and I just stepped right into his personal space and closed out the doorway and just stood in it and looked right in his eyes and just kept talking, just like not stopping. Like, no, you don't get to leave. I didn't get to run away from what you did to me, so you don't get to run away from me confronting you about it. Also, suck my dick, bitch. Anyway,
How did the experience with the Staples guy?
the reason
Is the feeling you already described how that was similar to what happened at 15 in I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm going to see where it goes.
yeah.
How else was that different or similar?
Well, it was a little different in that he was much closer my age. And I did, like, we talked, like, I actually liked him on a personal level. Yes, he was too old for me, obviously, but
Depending on the state you were in.
yeah, right. Depending on, like, societal laws, and there's like a reason those are the laws. But I was also like, I was attracted to him.
Sure.
Like, that was a sensation. I was like, oh, I'm into you. I'm like, have a chemical reaction kind of attraction to this person.
You're opting into this one, whereas in the other person
it was
more
just like, I guess this is happening now. Okay.
like what happened at 15 happened to you, but the thing at 16 was more like, this is happening.
Like,
I am doing this too.
I am up for a certain amount of this, and then when it got to a certain point where I was like, oh, you're trying to go to another place.
He's trying to fuck.
No, and that's the thing. Like, I said when we walked into his house, I was like, just so you know, I'm not having sex with you. And he was like, okay, that's fine. But he did start taking off my clothes, and I was like, no, I thought maybe I would be okay with this, but I'm not. So I like shut my shirt back down. I got up and I was like, I'm gonna go now. And he tried to make me stay. And he, he like came up, he kind of stood in front of the door between me and the door. And that made me really, really nervous. And I just, he was trying to talk to me. I was just like, are you not going to let me leave? Like, cause I just have to be direct with people. I just looked at him and was like, are you not going to let me leave? And he seemed very like, he was so shocked by my directness that he was like, no, I mean, of course.
I mean, look, when you phrase it, yeah, he's like, when you phrase it like that.
Exactly.
Oh.
You put someone on the spot like that, and he was like, yeah. He turned, he stepped out from in front of the door. He opened
the door for you, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, okay, bye.
Some people
you have not been a terrible person, but I just don't want this.
Sure. Sometimes you just need to be that direct because sometimes people don't realize, like, I've never thought about the concept of standing between a person and a door before. And then when people bring that up, I'm like, oh, right. Yeah. So it's, I'm at 16, I'm impressed that you said so directly what it was he was doing that he probably had no idea.
Exactly.
Consciously, at least, that, he was doing.
Yeah, of course. I never even wanted to learn how to do that. That just seemed like it's a waste of time.
Yeah,
like,
well, I
my
mean,
time is precious.
Sure,
friend.
but at 16, like you needed to be direct to get out of a situation you didn't want to be in, and many don't, and I'm happy you
That's
did.
true.
Well, wow. Well, Ginger, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
We're time, aren't we?
Yeah.
Damn it.
No, you spend so much time on Staples guy and like creepy family friend and your empowerment that it drowned out your college, which is fine.
Man.
It's more than okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, Ginger, thank you so much for chatting with me. Do you mind if we did maybe like another 10 minutes for like a bonus episode for you go off and play D&D?
Yeah, sure. My character can wait. She's pansexual and polyamorous. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, for now, why don't you go ahead and say goodbye to everybody?
Bye, guys. Thank you so much for listening.
Well, just one last thing. We're sure we don't remember my kissing.
No, but
Okay, it's all right. Not memorable. I got to work harder. That's fine. It's fine. Ginger wanted me to tell y'all that she has a sex blog, a sexy Tumblr that she runs. It is philosophersstone.unturned.tumblr.com. Yes, that is an allusion to the Harry Potter, because there's no reason you can't make Potter sexy. There'll be a link in the show notes to her Tumblr page. I want to thank Ginger for coming on and sharing all that with us. Let me know what you thought about her episode. You can hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at @TheBillyPresida. Use the hashtag ManWhorePodcast so I can find what you thought. Of course, I would love if you would go like the Man Whore Podcast Facebook page. Again, people, search the Man Whore Podcast. You are not looking for Billy Presida. That is my private space. Thank you. You know what's not a private space? My email inbox. That's where I want to hear from you. That's where I want to read all your things. That's where I want to answer your questions. Send your comments, your questions, your booby pictures to manwhorepod@gmail.com. Of course, you know, nudes are accepted in any form and fashion, so you're welcome to tweet those out too. And of course, become a member of my fan whore community on Patreon. Head on over to patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. Oh, I almost forgot. I am going to be at the Brooklyn Sex Expo, September 22nd and September 23rd. Could I have stitched this into the intro? Sure. But maybe this is just more reason for y'all to always finish the show every week. Listen to the end. Yes, Brooklyn Sex Expo is free to attend. I'm going to be in a booth with some fellow sex podcasters, David Piccolamini from Tinder Tales, Spring and Andrew from The Sex Rap, and Sabriel from Ilrotic. So come by, say hello to us, buy a shirt, enter to win a raffle. Anyways, next week we have, yes, my episode from Desire Resorts down in Mexico. You're in for one hell of a treat. That is not an episode you're going to want to miss. But until next week, everyone, enjoy yourselves and stay slutty.